Hey y'all, and welcome to a new episode of Southern Chatter. I'm Bucky.
And I am Brandon, and I just am in for my trip across the ocean overseas. I'm a well-seasoned traveler, you guys, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, so last week it was just me on the podcast. Brandon was unfortunate. People liked it.
Did they? Who said that?
Maybe two or three. Two or three people liked it. But I did it. It was awkward doing a podcast solo.
I know, and I haven't even listened to it, so I need to listen to it.
You know what I noticed that I do nonstop?
What do you do nonstop?
I need to get over doing But I feel like I don't do it in a conversational setting.
You do when you have to think.
But if I'm like thinking of just like, what am I going to say next? And that's already in my head when you're by yourself and you can't banter off somebody.
You don't have any filler.
I'm like, oh.
You're filling it with
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So anyways, we're going to hear all about Brandon's trip to Germany. We also have so much more to talk about. There is some major closings happening with some stores.
You said major closings.
I mean, there's some things that, some hot topics
basically
we got to get into.
A bunch of mall stores are now, it's not looking good for malls.
It's going to become like extinct, but we'll get into that a little bit later. We have some more Beyonce to talk about she's ruling the world, and I'm a stan of hers, so I'm going to always find a place to put her in. What else are we going to talk about today? Oh, well, this is also Beyonce, but she released a hair...
I know nothing about this,
so we'll talk about that as well. But first, before we get into all that, let's talk about your trip to Germany.
Yeah,
how was it?
It was good, you guys. So I traveled to Germany for a week for work, Hamburg, Germany to be specific. So in the city, which is a really nice city. I think it's the second largest city in Germany. It has to be. I think next to Berlin. But yeah, it was a fun trip, and the best part of it, you guys, was that I did something for the very first time.
This makes me absolutely
I had purchased my plane tickets back in I think before the new year even, for work, obviously, and I got a really good offer to update to flagship business, which is like first class basically for international flights on the way there, and I did it. And it was life-changing and probably terrible because now I'm never going to want to ever fly in economy on an international flight again.
So what is that hours? So basically first you flew to London though. So this is London. Your layover in London is what you did the first class to. So that was what, 7 hours?
My flight to London, not my layover.
Yeah, but that London was your layover to go to Hamburg.
Yes.
Yeah. So how many hours was that?
The layover or the flight? I'm so confused.
Oh my God. I'm going to listen to this back and be like, am I not clear?
You're not.
Are you
sure? You keep saying your layover.
Yes.
My layover was like 2 hours. I don't care
how long your layover was, though.
But you just said how long was your layover.
From London
the flight. To London. That's called a flight.
But I said from here to your layover, which was in London.
Oh, okay. My flight to London was almost 7 hours.
Okay, so you had the first class for 7 hours.
Yes.
And y'all, that is something that I have... we lost power. I think we're still recording on here. But y'all... It's
weird.
Still recording though, right? Everything is...
Well, yeah, because... it never... Anyway, okay, so what were we saying? That was wild.
That's freaky.
God, yeah, and nothing went... Look,
wow. I guess we're not using internet right now.
Everything has a battery kind of thing, right?
Okay, so...
Anyway...
That's something that I've always wanted to do. And,
he was so mad.
We've flown first class domestically.
Times.
Well, I guess you could technically say we flew first class internationally to Punta Cana.
But it wasn't like this.
That's a different...
It was like a domestic first class.
Yeah, like yours had like a lay down.
Yes.
Like you could
literally lay
pure
down.
Flat. You had your own like pod. You didn't have anybody beside you.
It was a dream.
That is what I've always wanted.
Yeah.
Like I've always wanted to just... Because I watch all these YouTubers, even besides like Kara and Nate, they do a lot of that. But there's other YouTubers that like focus solely on
travel,
like air travel and like how you get into like lounges, Admiral's Club, like all the first class you can do. There's like Emirates where there's like showers on them, and it's just something that I've always like loved. Like the idea of getting a drink immediately and just having unlimited drinks for 7 to 8 hours and unlimited food. And
I mean, the food's not really unlimited. I mean,
you don't think you could order?
I mean, you can't order.
Okay,
you can go to the snack place and get snacks.
Okay, let's start when you got to the airport. I looked it up and I was like, Brandon, you have to go to the Admiral's Lounge.
Yes.
I
Admiral's
know you
Club.
can have like drinks there and stuff like that, food. So I'm gonna live vicariously through you. Tell me all about it. So you started in Charlotte and went to the lounge.
Yes.
And how was it?
It was good. I mean, it was like comfy chairs. There was like different areas. There was like an area that was kind of more open and more like more light and kind of more people talking more, that kind of thing. So the food was interesting. In Charlotte at the Admiral's Club, the food was like a chili. And then there were like good snacks like Rice Krispie treats and like those Dot seasoned pretzels, which are like kind of like a high-end snack, I think, technically, because they're like $6 for like a little bag at like Walmart. There was like a cappuccino machine where you could make like a latte, a cappuccino, whatever, coffee. There was like a coffee and tea station. There were sodas for free, water. Then there was a bar, and at the bar you could do like free beer and wine.
Did they have liquor that you could buy?
They did. Yeah, but you had to buy it.
Was it
in
like
Charlotte?
Cheaper? Or like,
I don't know. I didn't try. I just had wine. And then it was funny because in like the other section they had like this little stand, and like you could walk up and like there was like a dude sitting there just like making fresh guacamole. I didn't do that because I thought it was kind of weird, and I also just wasn't in the mood for guacamole. But like, because I wasn't trying to eat like chili or guacamole before I got like on a flight. I don't know. It just seemed weird to me. But yeah, he was like making the guacamole, so it was nice. The one in Charlotte though, like going into it was like through like an area where they're doing like a lot of renovation. So like,
is it about to go off again?
it just flickered, I think.
Is the wind that bad?
I guess. Anyway, so I hung out there for a while. Went and got on the flight. So then on the flight, as soon as you got to your seat, which is like a little private pod with like a nice chair where it reclines and stuff, and they immediately welcome you with like a welcome drink, which was like your choice of like, I don't know, like a wine, a prosecco, an orange juice, like that kind of thing. And then you just kind of get situated, and it was nice because they had like a little, the one he just held up is actually the one that I got on my way back.
So if you're just listening, again, you can go over to our YouTube channel, Southern Snackers, podcast. The video version is there, and so you can see what I'm holding up.
I forgot about that.
But, so did you get something similar to this?
Yeah, on the way there, I got something similar, but it was actually in like a nicer little travel case, and it was like a pair of socks, a sleep mask, some earplugs, some lotion.
There's earplugs in here.
Yeah,
too.
it's the same kind of situation. Yeah, I haven't even dug into that.
DS and Durga? I've never heard of that.
I don't know. It's probably some kind of luxury hand cream or something.
There's a spray. Oh no, that's a pencil.
Anyway, and then so all that, and then you also had like a really big, nice pair of headphones. And then you had like a little wipe to like sanitize the headphones. So it was nice, like the ones that like cover your total ear, so it was like noise canceling. And that was nice because when you watch like their entertainment on the screen, that was exactly what I had going there.
Socks.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I mean, so then you just chill. Like I was watching movies, and then we had dinner. The dinner was definitely elevated. It was like, I forget what the choices were, but it was like some kind of like beef fillet, a chicken, a fish, and then like a pasta. And then there was like a salad and an appetizer that came out first, and then a dessert. And for dessert, you could get ice cream sundaes. And you could like pick what you put on the ice cream sundae, which I did both times. And then, I mean, then I slept for a couple hours, and I woke back up, and they served breakfast as we were going to London. So my flight from Charlotte left around 8:30, I think, and my flight got into London at like 9:30 a.m. or something like that, their time. So with the time difference and everything. So yeah, so I ate dinner when we left, and then I ate breakfast when we got there. Even though it was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 hour, a 7-hour flight. Yeah.
Well, that's good that it was like a good experience.
And then we had a really quick layover in London that time. So then on the way back, I flew from Hamburg to London, normal and economy on like a British Airways plane. And then I went to the Admirals Club in London. Their Admirals Club was a little bit different. So it was more open. The chairs were not as comfortable. Everything was super bright and like lit up. There was like one tiny section in the back corner. It was called the quiet area. It was like kind of darker. And they had like these like reclining glider type chairs. And then in London on the way back, we got there around 7:30 in the morning. And we didn't leave until like 11:30. So we had a really long layover. And they had like a breakfast buffet with like bacon, eggs, some kind of potatoes, beans because we were in the UK. Yeah. But then the interesting thing about the Admirals Club in London is that they had like a bar that was like self-serve.
That's
like,
what I've seen more so.
Like literally just like liquor bottles and like mixers, and you could just go up and like make yourself a drink.
That's what
It was really interesting. I didn't do that. I drank wine again. I had like a mimosa situation.
He's not taking advantage of it, and I would be
on the plane. I drank like
I would be like, whiskey.
I had like 6 mini bottles,
thing full of whiskey, then taking it with you on the plane. Getting so many more on the plane.
But you know what's funny is it like,
and even if you don't drink them, y'all just order.
But what's funny though is that literally no one else does that.
What do you mean?
Like when you're in there, like watching people in the lounges, the first class
lounges.
That's
because
nobody's like that.
They probably do first class all the time.
Exactly.
This is like a once.
So you're gonna look desperate, like you're out
Who
of place.
Cares?
I care. I do.
I have no shame.
God,
I would not.
I could just imagine you in there, just like doing the most.
Oh, every time on the plane, anytime that person came by, I'd be like, "Can I get another?"
I don't think you would. When you realize the vibe and like how kind of high end it feels.
First class from Charlotte to Vegas, and I had 7 drinks.
Are you talking about recently?
No, when we flew first class to Vegas.
I was like, oh yeah.
I had, I think, like 7 drinks.
But it's different though. That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
Going to New York first class, I had at least 4 or 5.
I get that.
And that's a 2-hour flight.
But I feel like the people who fly like domestic first class are generally like thirstier people than like the people who fly like business first class international. Maybe. It's a different vibe.
Yeah.
Like people aren't needy. People are literally just doing this for their comfort and for like the luxurious experience.
I would be
like I literally don't remember ever anybody like ordering a bunch or like
You said that woman in front of you that she was ordering. There was like an older woman that kept ordering something weird or something.
She was ordering like a Bloody Mary or something, but only like twice. Anyway, it was a great experience.
On an 8-hour flight, I would at least have 10 drinks.
Yeah, so on the way back, I did end up upgrading again on the way back, and that was an even better experience because that flight, because of the jet streams or whatever, like flying back from London is always significantly longer, so the flight was almost 10 hours.
Yeah.
And that was so worth it.
Speaking of jet streams, that's a good like crossover because did you hear about those like 3 planes that got in a crazy jet stream?
Like supersonic speeds or something.
They got to their destination wild. So quick.
Yeah, that's wild.
Isn't that freaky?
That's very
It's
freaky.
like, what are the planes built? Like, can they just, how fast can they go? Could they have slowed down, or does the jet stream make them go that fast? Or do you just put it in like autopilot and just let it take you?
I have no idea. I don't know how all that works. I don't know about thermodynamics.
That was in like the news recently. That there was like 3 or 4 planes that like got in that jet stream.
Yeah,
went so quick.
I did remember hearing about that. That was crazy.
But speaking of Germany, while Brendan was there, he brought me back their Pepsi Max because we
that's
Pepsi.
Actually from London. I don't think they have that in Germany. I got that at the London airport.
Okay, so this is from London.
None of that matters.
It's from Europe.
Yeah, it's from Europe.
We'll say Europe. To where obviously they have Pepsi Max over there.
Well, not technically anymore.
What do you mean?
I mean, London is still is the continent of Europe, but it's not part of the European Union.
Really?
Brexit.
Brexit?
Yeah, because now when you fly into London, you have to go through customs like twice. Like in England, and then also again in Germany. Like it's like not like.
Well, that would be like going like
but
Canada.
But used to when you flew into like a company that was part of the European Union, I think you didn't have to go through. I don't remember exactly. It's been a long time.
I will say this is fizzier than any. It's like a smoother fizz.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
It's like taking a while to unfizz.
Yeah.
Anyway, my trip to Germany was great. The food there is really interesting. Had a lot of good food.
The candy is always better in Europe than here.
True.
Even though we have Cadbury here.
Not those. I don't think I've ever seen those huge bars like that here.
They have some, but I don't think that they have. I haven't seen like the ones that you brought.
Yeah.
But yeah, the chocolate over there is always even if it's the same brand, it just seems better over there. But yeah, so good overall trip. Are you glad to be back? Did you miss Otto?
Yeah. I mean, it's like being away for so long, but I mean, when I go on these work trips, it's like nonstop. So like we literally land, we have a free night, but really you're just spending that like sleeping or resting because you have jet lag basically. And then it's like literally all day, every day, like nonstop meetings and dinners and parties and like it's exhausting, like physically and mentally.
But I think at some point I do want to go over there as well. Like even like if it's for a couple of days, maybe we go
we should
early or like stay a couple of days.
Yeah, because Hamburg's it's a really pretty city. I mean, the weather there's like comparable to like the Pacific Northwest. So Hamburg is always kind of like gray and a little bit rainy. Temperature wise, it was similar to what it is here right now. So it's somewhere around like 50 Fahrenheit, something like that. But I mean, the weather is just kind of like dreary.
Yeah.
The people there like talk about it all the time about how, like crappy it is. But yeah, it's a really pretty city though. It's like a port city. It's right on the river. There's lots of really good views. There's like, it's also called like the city of bridges or something. It has more bridges than Venice because of all like the canals and like the river and stuff, which is kind of interesting. But it's really pretty.
I love Europe because you can literally get on a train or
it's so
get
easy.
A car ride and you're like 2 hours to another country or to another main city. Amsterdam is like 2.5 hours. You can go up to Denmark, which isn't too far away either.
It's funny though because like
Berlin's like 2.5 hours from Hamburg.
Yeah. There's so many like really pretty train rides, like, obviously in Europe, but like it's funny because like I've literally Googled before, like, because I go to Hamburg because that's where my company's headquartered, and like I've Googled like scenic or like pretty train rides from Hamburg, and it's literally like the one place in Europe where like there's not really a convenient like train ride that's like really beautiful, which is like so funny. But yeah, like you can take a train to like Amsterdam and Berlin and Denmark. I think Denmark's kind of far. I think like 4 hours, but I think Amsterdam's only like 2.5 hours maybe.
I know when I looked on a map, I know like
because people
Copenhagen and stuff is far because it's like through the water, or you have to go all the way like to the left of Denmark and then all the way up and then cross over. Because I would love to take you or to go to Copenhagen together.
I've never been. I mean, that'd be fun.
I think that would be fun. I like Denmark a lot. I mean, and Norway's also not that far. Like, hang on, maybe.
I think it is. Are you thinking about Netherlands? What are you thinking about?
I don't know. I was looking on the map.
It's definitely like across some water.
Yeah, just forget I said anything about
I think
Norway.
You think things look closer on a map than they really are.
No, I looked up Denmark. You can get to part of Denmark in like 3 hours. That's
from
driving.
Hamburg?
2.5 driving.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what I was looking up.
Oh my God.
Because my thing would be, I would just want to go to as many countries as possible.
Yeah, but I don't have that luxury because like I'm literally in meetings and stuff all day. It's not a vacation.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to our next topic. What do we have to talk about?
What are we talking about next?
I don't know. I texted you our list of things to talk about.
Did you?
Did you not get my text?
Did you just send it to me 30 seconds before we recorded? And did I give you about half the ideas that are on the list?
No, you didn't give me half the ideas that are on the list.
Okay.
Are you literally not going to look at your phone?
No, because I know them.
Okay, then tell us what's next.
So one thing that came out in the news today is that Macy's is closing like something like 150 stores, and they're focusing on their luxury brands like Bloomingdale's. But y'all, I was also reading recently to like Express might be going bankrupt. And I mean, if you've been to a mall recently, you kind of know, like, there's so many vacant stores. You know, it's sad because, like, it's like the end of an era, I think. Like, mall...
Well, I think we knew it was coming, though.
Yeah, but, like, mall culture, like, I don't know, like, the 90s and 2000s was, like, it, right? It was, like, everything.
I mean,
like,
I would say even the 2010s.
Like, so many of my friends, like, worked at the mall.
Yeah.
It was, like, a big thing. I mean, like, mall stores were, like, huge, and now it's, like, I guess with e-commerce and stuff kind of picking up and, like, the big, like, Amazon, you can basically buy anything there now. Like, so many less people, and I think after COVID, too.
Yeah.
Like, so many less people are, like, actually going physically shopping, which is crazy, because, like, I love to go to the mall.
It's not for me.
Like, I love just walking around the mall. Like, it is so fun. Like, I love a department store. I mean, I just love being in a mall.
And that's where we differ, but, that's where we differ because my leg I don't know, my leg hurt. But I hate just going to look at a mall. Like, if I'm going to, like, look for something, if I have something in my head, it's like, I need this, then I love going shopping. I love it. But if I have nothing that I need or want or anything, I don't want to go browse. Like, I need something to be
I love to browse.
No. But
yeah, I mean, I can spend, like, hours in the mall.
But I think
it has everything you need, too. It has food.
Yeah.
It has bathrooms.
A food court. I do love a food court.
I mean, literally, it has bathrooms. It has food. It has fun activities if you're into that kind of thing, usually.
They usually have, like, a little play area, too, for kids.
Yeah.
I mean...
Like a carousel sometimes.
It's also getting crazy and, like, where so many stores are going, like, out of the malls that... Things that normally wouldn't be in a mall are going into malls.
Yeah, that's true.
Like there's escape rooms going into malls now, which is very rare. Axe throwing,
like I've seen
laser
tag, like black light putt.
Yeah,
like yeah.
Talk about saying like. You've been saying like a lot.
You just said it.
That was the point.
Right.
But yeah, I think. And I also think that it kind of makes sense that they're going to focus, especially like Macy's focusing on their higher brands, because less people, in my opinion, are going to buy like a Louis Vuitton or a crazy expensive item online. They're still going to want to touch it, feel it before they spend that money.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
things that are like $50 or below, or like $100 or below.
I just hate buying, y'all. I hate buying clothes online.
I think that
like if I know for sure that I
like
wear
what
a specific
brand it is, yeah.
Like if I know for sure, like okay, in this brand I wear this size exactly. I know how it's gonna fit me. That's fine.
Yeah.
But typically, like I want to try it on, or like I want to get a feel for it. I want to see like how, especially like me, because like I have like tiny little legs and like a long torso. So like for me, like shirts especially, like I feel like I'll just buy a shirt and not really pay attention, and then when I get it on, it's like a belly shirt.
Yo, he gets 30-inch like length, 30 length.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah, because like I'm almost 6 feet tall.
I don't know any man that gets 30.
Y'all, my body is like all torso. Like I literally have tiny, short little legs. It's weird.
That is a wild.
But it's just the way I was made. It's the way God made me.
So yeah.
But yeah, it's sad, y'all, to think about. Like I mean, just mall culture, kind of like, and like also like I feel like there's also this stigma now, like. There's been so many kind of like shootings or like violent events in malls, or like I feel like they kind of have a bad rap now for like being kind of unsafe and like.
Well, then they, when we were young, we didn't have like curfews.
No.
And then they started implementing that to where you had, if you were like under 16 or something, or like
you couldn't be in the mall after like 5 p.m. or something.
It was crazy. You had to be accompanied by an adult, and then they were checking at the door and stuff like that. And that was never the case. It's kind of
weird. Yeah, because that kind of like...
almost makes you more uneasy.
Yeah, it does.
It's like,
yeah.
Which, sadly, I guess also with like trafficking and like issues. Yeah. I mean, those kind of...
Yeah, true.
Trigger alert, but like those kind of crimes and stuff are on the up as well. And you think of like minors being without their parents, so that's a field day for those types of people, I would assume. Or like,
I would assume. Oh God, you threw in the I would assume.
Well, like a park or something. And you know,
why are you throwing out so many like ideas for like?
No, but this is another thing I do want to talk about, because before we had a kid, like if we would go like with our friends or someone like to a park, or if like I was just like walking through a park or something in Charlotte and I didn't have a kid, like society has made me feel like as a male that was by himself, that I was like being a creeper. Do you know what I mean?
I've never felt that way.
Like I felt like people would look at me and they were like, "What's he doing here?" Does anybody else out there listening like have y'all ever felt like I wasn't doing anything weird? I was literally like just walking or going for a walk or going for a run. And then I go through like a park.
I love how what I love right now is that you're acting as if you've been to so many parks by yourself.
Well, I have.
When?
Like the
Where?
park that we used to live by.
Yeah.
Remember?
That's like a nature preserve.
Yeah, but I would, if I was like a male by myself, or I am a male. If I were a boy. But just going there by myself, like even like
you
riding my
people
bike.
thought you were creepy?
Yes.
Riding your bike?
Riding my, like,
how many times did you do that?
Brandon, do you not remember in that era when I was like literally going and running through the nature preserve, going through the park, and
sure,
like almost every other day?
Not the bike.
Yes, I did.
How long?
How long what?
I don't remember you ever getting on that bike. I think you might have rode that bike 3 times.
I don't think so. Because
anyway,
I remember, but anyway, like
the point is, I have personally never felt that.
But I have, and I feel
not
like
at least not at a park.
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't know now. Even that I've had Otto, which I talked a little bit about this in the last podcast that I did solo, but I can't remember if I ever mentioned it on. I guess I haven't, because this is just our 3rd podcast back. But I think I mentioned it in a video. But I took Otto to a park one time, and it was over at South Park, which is like the nice bougie mall in Lincoln, in Charlotte, where we used to live.
Are you talking about the little playground that's right outside the entrance to the food court?
Are you
talking about the one that's like
green
attached
area,
to?
but
okay.
The actual playground. There's like slides and stuff.
Oh, I don't
It's
know.
like on the other side of the Dicks.
Oh my God. Okay.
The playground is beside it.
I know what you're talking about. It's like you walk out. There's like the green area, and then there's
you kept
Dick's,
following it.
Yes.
Like around
Yes.
Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yes.
It's there. Oh gosh. But anyways, so Otto was playing, and he was like just walking. And I think he was kind of not even like walking. He was like standing up, holding on to things. I think it was that phase.
Okay.
And you know about this story, but he was probably 6 feet from me. I'm there watching him. I mean, I have my eyes on him. And this bystander who doesn't even have a kid, they're just like walking into the mall. They were like looking at Otto, and they were like, "Where's your mommy? Like, who do you belong to?" And I was like, "He's with me." And they were like, "You should probably be closer to your daddy and not go off as far from your daddy." And I'm just like, where in this person's mind do they have the right, for one, to even talk to a child at a playground that you're just walking by? And like,
yeah,
not that she was really talking to them, she was just trying to make a point that was a stupid point. But and I don't know, it just made me so mad, for one, that she assumed that he was there with his mom, but second, that she has any right to like tell me that he should be closer to me. Like, no.
Yeah. I mean, people just have opinions about.
But keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, so malls, all that. I think we're going to be seeing an end to that soon. I still think luxury malls will be a thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you'll have like your.
I think like department stores might be more standalone, more so than a mall setting. I think eventually.
Maybe.
To where that'll kind of be.
I love a department store though. I love like a Belk.
The Dillard's clearance.
That
is nice.
I used to love a JCPenney, but they've changed a lot lately.
Oh, remember Goodies? Like, what are some stores that were in malls that closed? That
Goodies was never in a mall.
Okay,
that was always in a strip mall. Okay, so like stores that were in malls that have closed. Sears used to be poppin'.
They had clothes. They had like refrigerators.
Tools, everything.
They had everything.
When I remember when we were young, there was Structure was a store. There was Bugle Boy.
Bugle Boy.
I
don't remember that in the mall. I don't think I really went to malls younger though. I'm
trying to think what else. Well, for girls there was Limited 2, which The Limited, which was like a big like women's clothing. I don't think that really exists anymore. There were like DK and Y's. I don't know if those really exist anymore.
When they also said that Aeropostale was closing down, but then
they all came back?
Yeah.
They kind of did shut down for a minute though, I think.
Maybe they like rebranded or something, or somebody else bought it. But
I'm trying to think like what other mall store, like all the like there is one still left, I think, at Concord Mills, but like back in the day there were like Columbia CD stores, and then like now they're like FYE.
Yeah.
And I think that the only one I know of that's still open is in.
You used to love that store.
Yeah, I did. Back when before streaming.
Yeah.
Music and TV shows, like I would go to FYE and just like buy like used CDs and used DVDs all the time.
There's no point to hold on to DVDs, y'all. Right?
I mean, I do, but it's more sentimental.
I know, but like there's...
Just in case. I mean, one day you never know.
The apocalypse.
One day the internet might shut down and we might just have to watch a DVD on DVD player.
I mean, there was that movie.
And thank God I will have saved all of them. Yeah, we'll be like that girl watching Friends on the DVD.
Girls and Friends nonstop. Yep. How great.
And The Nanny.
The Nanny.
And Saved by the Bell.
I think I also have Gossip Girl too.
And most horror movies.
Yeah.
At least ones that were before 2012.
Yeah. That's funny though. I mean, yeah, it's just a different time. I mean, the malls used to be where you would go like after school to hang out. And
Delilah's was a big one.
I can't really think of
any mall stores that have closed down.
No, I mean, I didn't really go to malls that much.
I mean, right now,
that's
like
just never been my thing.
Your quintessential mall stores
now.
Is
Buckle still open?
Buckle's still open, yeah.
Okay.
Old Navy is still in malls
Hollister
sometimes.
Still a thing?
Hollister's still a thing.
Really?
Abercrombie's still a thing.
Dang. I just hated because in high school, everybody used to wear Hollister, and y'all, I could not. I would go. I would go into the Hollister stores, and I could not fit into anything.
Really?
Like none of their shirts I could wear, and
I wore a double. I do remember vividly.
I found online. I had to go to like Hollister online, and I think they finally had my size in like one hoodie, and I remember it was like a brown hoodie that said Hollister with like white writing
with the like seagull looking thing, probably.
I think so. But it was like that was the only thing I had from there.
I had some Hollister clothes. I mean, I had some stuff from all the mall stores, but
that's like the thing with like as a big kid, that's why like Goodies was like the place that
Goodies was huge.
Always they had like Hefty or what Hefty
Husky
Hefty
Hefty
That's
not.
Speaking of Hefty and that kind of stuff, obviously
the
Ozempic thing is like
migrate to after Hefty.
Crazy, and it's been going on probably like a year now.
The Ozempic thing,
a new topic,
probably.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing Ozempic on the list.
Well, it was.
Oh, okay, sorry.
And I mean, just thinking, I know that like so many celebrities have said that they're not on it, and I think.
Did you see what Kelly Osbourne's? She came out and said something like, "Shut up! Like if you're on, like
you would wish to be on."
I can't remember exactly, but
if
it was
you could afford it, you would be on it.
It was kind of good. I mean, in a way,
good.
It's like
I thought it was like very like a privileged.
No, I think she was saying like she was complaining about people like judging Ozempic and Ozempic users like so hard.
But I think how she said it was like, if you could afford it, you would be on it too. Basically saying like it's a privileged person's like.
Well, I mean, it kind of is.
And I think that's also the issue
I agree with
that they're kind of running into because, with Ozempic isn't approved by or regulated for weight loss. So people that are just wanting
you have to be like diabetic.
Weight loss, you have to be a diabetic, and then it can be approved. And there's other ones like Trulicity. I think the only ones that are approved currently for weight loss are like Zepbound, which is a new one, and my doctor said it's like crazy expensive. And it's not covered by insurance, but it is for weight loss
specifically.
And Wegovy, which is
it also a diabetes medicine?
Yeah, it's a semaglutide is what they call it, but that one's technically made for
weight loss,
and it's marketed towards weight loss.
Okay.
And I think that's what is happening when all these people are asking, like celebrities, they're like, "You're on Ozempic." They might not be on Ozempic, but they could be on like Trulicity, Wegovy, Zepbound.
Maybe.
And I think that's where they're getting like around the question, because everything is like Ozempic.
But people use Ozempic now for
the whole
a general term for you're on a weight loss medication.
But I think that's a way for them to not technically lie and still say that they're not on it. But anyways, I think...
What was the point here?
I was going to tell them that even though it is like kind of like a privileged thing, but I have found a doctor that I am going to now that he does like...
This is a HIPAA violation.
Is it?
I'm kidding. I don't know.
He does like a semaglutide thing, and he prescribed me Wegovy. Obviously because I want to lose weight, I've gained weight, and I want to get back to where I was. And just working out, having auto is just a little bit harder and being 34, it's harder than what it was in my 20s. So he recommended this. I didn't even go to him. Well, I kind of went to him for this, but he like went over like all the pros and cons and everything. And he prescribed me Wegovy, but then my insurance still wouldn't pay for it. Cause I mean, we have good insurance, but it's not the best. Like it's not, I feel like it's middle ground, but
I mean that's good.
Okay,
for what we paid.
Okay, it's good.
Trust me.
But anyway, so it wasn't covered, but something about
but those drugs, but weight loss medications and weight loss surgeries and stuff like that are not covered by most insurance companies.
Yeah, but luckily, what my doctor is doing, and maybe a lot of like the California doctors have been doing it to where it's kind of like this. But they will give you the shot in-house. So they get it cheaper, but they have to actually give it to you.
They have to administer it.
Yeah. And so that's technically what I am doing now. So last week I went for the first time. I'm doing Wegovy and just kind of seeing how it's going to be. I know a lot of people have had great success on it, and I'm going to be trying it out, so I'll also keep y'all updated on that. But I don't want to feel like I'm saying you should do it, because I don't know, like...
You haven't said that.
There's no, like, long-term studies on it, you know what I mean, for this. So that's the only thing that kind of worries me a little bit.
That's what everybody said about the COVID vaccines.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the thing with anything medically that you do that hasn't been around for 200 years. So unless it's penicillin,
I didn't say it's stopping me. I got my first shot last week, and I go again tomorrow. But even in that week, I've lost like 10 pounds.
Really?
Yeah. Like I'll see what their scale says.
That's crazy.
To see how their scale matches my scale here. But if their scale...
So you didn't do that before?
No, so I just
You didn't weigh like the same day that you... Oh, that was weird. You should have done that.
Can you not just be happy and me pretend I did 10 pounds and we'll see tomorrow if it really is or not?
I mean, I hope you did.
Yeah. But if so, it would be great, because even with like... I don't have a lot of time to exercise, but me and Otto have like been going out and running outside more, and trying to like work up a sweat and get my heart rate up. So hopefully that is true. I'll find out tomorrow if I lost 10 pounds. But if so, the first 20 hours were a little rough. It did make me like nauseous.
I think those medicines, that's kind of the number one side effect though.
Yeah. I mean, and just like to smell or like look at food, it was just like, ugh. But by
that's
like
weird.
Saturday,
you were
so
fine.
Like, I got hungry like throughout the day a little bit. I still like would kind of get sick if I ate like something bad, like fried or something. But anyways, so that's just I just kind of wanted to touch on that because I feel like it's such a huge thing that everybody was like celebrities are doing, but I do feel like now it's becoming a little bit more accessible for like the middle ground.
For the common person.
Yeah. But anyway, so maybe a doctor near you if you did want to try it. Wegovy or Zepbound, that's kind of what you could go in and ask for. What's next on the list since you have it memorized?
I mean, I think it's just Beyonce.
No, there's more.
I don't know specifically what you wanted to. Oh, is there really?
I sent you a list.
Lord.
I'll talk about Beyonce while this is going, but Beyonce has done her number 9.
I just want to say you did not send me a list.
Really?
I don't have a single text about this.
I must not have hit send.
This is the last text I have from you.
Okay.
Would you have me read that out loud?
I don't want you to read that
Are
out
you
loud.
sure?
I am positive.
What if I do?
I'm going to be mad. I didn't even spell it right
He did not spell it right. Can I please read it out loud? Y'all, the last text I have from him.
But I say no, that
The last text I have from him says, I have the worst, and I'm just going to spell it out for you. This is just what, I'm not going to say the word, I'm just going to spell it. It says, I have the worst, and then the word is DYARIHHA. I'll just let you decide what that spells. And then I sent a little shruggy thing, like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do about it, kind of thing. And then the next text says, like, oh, use like in a text. Like, ... bad. It's burning.
Yo, I think that's also a side effect. So...
the way you spelled that word is so not correct.
I was hoping that it would like pop up.
You just said DY.
If somebody asked me right now, spell diarrhea, or I'm gonna.
Do you remember the songs that you sing about diarrhea?
Diarrhea.
Yeah. I think you just like did some kind of like the way you just.
What?
It reminded me of like a jingle for like a product. Like diarrhea.
I think it's Pepto-Bismol. Diarrhea. Pepto.
No, that's like diarrhea. That's systemic.
Diarrhea. Diarrhea is the last one. That's the.
Okay, I don't know.
Go on.
You don't remember when you know those like little songs about diarrhea, like when you're climbing on a ladder and you're like when you're climbing on a ladder and you hear something splatter, diarrhea. Like yeah.
Anyways, Beyonce has her 9th #1 on the Billboard chart with Texas Hold'em, which is kind of crazy that throughout her whole career, like she's only had 9 songs, and a lot of those 9 #1s were like collabs.
Yeah, like with
which
other
is
people.
Wild.
Yeah,
and there's so many that I personally love that never even like came close to #1. But Texas Hold'em though is #1. It's also #1 on the country charts. But she also released, which I ordered today, a new hair care line.
You ordered something? You ordered Beyonce's hair care?
Yeah, and I don't think it's for people like me.
Of course it's not. But what did you even order?
I think there's... Okay, so you put your hair type in there.
What hair type did you possibly put in?
Like straight,
like half
silky?
an inch? Straight and silky? You barely have hair.
That's because I just cut it, but it's going to grow out. You have hair.
Mine's not straight and silky.
But anyways, I like to support Beyonce. Brandon also got mad because we have iTunes or
Babe,
Apple
you don't
Music.
need to support Beyonce. You can support her just by loving her. You don't have to give her your money. She has plenty.
But how are you... Yeah, I know, but...
Like, buy a t-shirt or something. This makes sense. Like I do for Dolly.
This makes sense because it's something I can actually use.
Just like you bought all of Whitney Rose's face products and you use them so regularly.
I use it, actually.
Actually, do you? I think I've seen you use it once in the past 3 months.
Okay, I will say I don't know how to pronounce her...
What is it called?
Craze.
What?
I can't say it out loud because I feel like I'm not a fan because I don't know. I'm sure somebody's like said it. But I did order 2 of the shampoos today. And they're already delivered. I ordered it today and it said that they were shipped. How do you say that word?
Sacred?
Sacred. But it's with a C, so I was confused.
It's like Beyonce. Sacred. It's like mixing the word sacred and Beyonce. Sacred.
Oh, that's clever. That is clever.
How did you not
But
realize
I will say I was upset because Sacred had like a influencer party or like a big like party celebrating that it was opening and the launch of this brand, and there were so many influencers there, like Brittany Broski, Bretman Rock. There were just so many people and I'm like, that could have been us if we would like not stop like our YouTube channel and kept going and became influencers. We could have been there getting a picture with Beyonce.
I don't think so.
Oh, that would have been my dream.
Think that would have happened.
But it's crazy because now Beyonce is actually like, there's videos of her like talking to fans and doing autographs when she comes out of places. Like she went to Mea Culpa, which is the new Netflix movie. Is that not how you say it? Mea Culpa? Well, Kelly Rowland's new Netflix movie, Beyonce and Michelle.
I want to go see that. I want to see that.
Where are you going to go see it at? It's on Netflix. You're going to go to the living room and watch it? How do you say it though? Mea Culpa?
Because I think it means something else.
Oh, maybe.
Like that saying specifically, maybe it's like Italian.
It's like a Tyler Perry movie. But I do want to see it. But like, yeah, so she was like videoed and she was like talking to the fans coming out. I don't know, she just seemed like an actual person, you know what I mean? She's so like reserved and like hidden and like stays out of like interviews or anything like that. So just seeing her interact with like influencers and also like fans and stuff, more on a personable level is really, really cool. But I don't know. I love Beyonce. So anything that she's doing. Huh?
Mea culpa.
Mea culpa. What's it mean? You don't know?
An acknowledgement of one's fault or error. I think it's like saying my bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's supposed to be like my bad. Yeah.
Do you think that there'll ever be a Destiny's Child reunion? Like an actual tour?
I hope so. I hope that we get... What I think we might get one day is a Kelly Michelle feature, like in a Beyonce tour.
I got you.
Like, I don't know that there will be a tour that's specifically Destiny's Child.
I think
maybe.
I think what it will be though, I think it would be a tour with all of them, Destiny's Child tour, but then they each do their own
of course,
like,
and
stuff.
But they did that in the final years of Destiny's Child anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, they all like if you watch like the live recordings of like their concerts, they all had like features. Like they all did their own thing. Like Michelle always sang a couple gospel songs. And like Beyonce would do one of hers, Kelly would do one of hers. I mean,
did you see that interview? It's like the three of them, and it's like whenever Beyonce was getting a little bit more popular, and they were like,
Kelly's like, I'm gonna stop you and say we're all secure women.
Yeah,
yeah. Because basically asking them how they felt about Beyonce being the favorite and like the most famous one. Yeah.
That is just
that's they've had to deal with that. I mean, the whole time. I mean, come on, like.
But I think
poor Michelle. I mean, my God.
I mean, I can't say, but you can't say poor Michelle when she's.
I mean,
in maybe in those terms, yes, but she's also been so fortunate and like had an amazing career and just.
But that doesn't warrant the treatment that she receives.
No, I mean I get that, just to be like a less than type.
Yeah,
situation.
She's always considered a less than.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry you met Michelle.
I did. She was lovely.
I didn't meet her, but
She's very talented.
I went to an event that Brandon had that she was there, and I did not recognize her.
She came out in like a hair wrap and like sweats.
She was like in her pajamas.
I mean, it was pure. I mean, yeah.
But it was also like a cast party.
Yeah,
so
it was a cast party.
Like there weren't public people there.
Yeah.
We were only there because we were working, or Brandon was working it, and I was being with him. What?
I was being with him. I was a funny way to say that.
I feel like there were so many other things that were on our list to talk about, but I can't remember it now.
That's all that I remember.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel my eyes are heavy.
No, I'm getting tired.
Getting exhausted.
So we put Otto to bed before this, and
he's still over there talking.
He was so quiet at the beginning of this, and now all of a sudden I can hear him.
Yeah.
Isn't it wild? Like, we'll put him down. He was like laying in the floor acting so tired. But then once we put him in his crib...
We put him down like well over an hour ago.
Well, it was almost exact... Like, we started this like almost immediately after. So, yeah. And he'll just sit in his crib or like stand there, lay down for a little bit, get back up, and then he doesn't cry.
No.
He just
hangs out.
And like will talk
rolls
a little
around.
bit. Speaking of Otto, this will be like our last section. We'll talk about Otto a little bit.
Are you going to talk about his today in the car?
Yeah, do you want us to say it?
Sure. So today in the car,
we
were
cute.
driving back from a little shopping trip at Sam's Club. And we were like, I don't know, Otto was just in the back seat like being silly. He was just like gibberish, talking and stuff. And he's been counting lately. And so we were like in the front seat, and Bucky was like,
he's been counting
1,
to like 4
and then he
or
would
5.
go 2, and then Bucky said 3, and then he was like 4, and then Bucky said 5, and y'all, as clear as day, Otto from the back seat was like 6, 7, 8, 9. It was like precious.
And me and Brandon just like
we were like
other,
every time he said a new number, we were like,
and then it
like it was
going.
so funny.
It was wild.
And then we got back here and we were telling Bucky's dad about it, and then in the doorway he was like, we were doing it again, and then he said 10.
Yeah.
He's a little genius.
I will say, I mean, he honestly,
I don't know. Honestly,
I don't know what
it could be,
supposed to be.
It could be totally normal for people, for kids his age to be counting to 10.
See,
I don't
he's
know.
almost 17 months. He's 16 months right
17
now.
months. He'll be 17 months in a few days.
Yeah, I don't know exactly.
I
know that like you said at 18 months they start getting a lot more words.
Yeah, they start learning a lot more words, and they start like, I think between 18 months and 2 years is when they start like actually like kind of forming sentences a little bit or something, like like phrasing words together, like not just like one-off words like right now. But
it's just so cute, and he goes row 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 your, and he won't go to your boat, so he just goes row row row, and it's like he's concentrating so hard.
And he does the E-I-E-O.
He does the E-I-E-O.
And
he does moo moo moo.
He does. He knows what cows say. He knows what certain animals are.
Oh,
like he definitely knows dogs. Like he'll just be like dog and cars.
If he hears a dog,
if he hears or sees a car, he'll be like car.
When we go outside, he'll picks up rock. He'll say rock.
And he said bird yesterday.
Bird. It's like things that like we don't even.
Yeah.
We're not practicing with him.
He'll just
he'll just say, which I do put a lot of that. Like
Miss
we
Rachel.
do let him watch Miss Rachel, which today I don't think he's watched it at all. Or
maybe, oh no, he did it with your dad for a little bit. Yeah.
But we don't. I try not to let him watch too much. But y'all, it's actually. I feel like a lot of this.
He's learning a lot. Yeah.
To where he doesn't watch like other cartoons or things that are educational. But like especially new parents out there, if you don't know about Miss Rachel, or if you know somebody that has kids, they're like, I don't want to give them like screen time or anything like that. Like Miss Rachel is the way to go because it's not overstimulating, and it's almost how she records it is almost like a FaceTime situation.
It's kind of calming in a way too.
And she's like talking to there's just not a lot going on. So much song, like so many songs.
It's very educational. I mean, you don't have to worry about learning anything weird or bad or whatever, right? Like no, because I know like a lot of people, like a lot of kids watch like Peppa Pig or like something like Bluey, which are really good. But then like some people complain about like, I mean, I've read stuff about parents complaining about like sometimes like certain characters will, like have an attitude or like if someone's teaching bad behavior because like in teaching a lesson they'll show
acting bad.
Kinda.
Okay.
And so like people have problems with that, but I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get into all that, but Miss Rachel's a good choice. It's very informative.
My thing is he loves it. So why let him watch anything else?
Yeah.
Like why even make him or like that's the thing, like as parents, like especially something that we've struggled with like our parents dealing with Otto is they want him to try so many like bad things. And like candy
you
and
say
ice
bad
cream
things.
and like
you
drinks.
mean like food, like
things, and it's like he's so
sugar.
happy and content with water. There's no water and milk. There's no point for him to have apple juice, I don't think, right now. There's no point for any of that because he loves it. It would be a different story if like he wasn't drinking water a lot and maybe you had to add a little bit of like apple juice or something and mix it in there so he was getting hydrated enough. I don't know. So that's just like, my thing is I'm not preventing him from having a great life because I'm not giving him apple juice or sweets.
No.
I don't want him to have the same struggles that I had to deal with my entire life. And I think the best way to start with that is at a very young age to where he won't get into wanting those types of things. But anyways, y'all, I think we are signing off. Brandon is looking exhausted, and I'm kind of ready for bed too. So thank y'all so much for listening, and we will see y'all next week.